Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City.
No, really, I ain't kidding.
Yeah, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City. Yeah, living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Come to Vegas with me, 24/7 bars. Dealing all these cards. Pretty women walking down the Las Vegas Boulevard. Going club to club to club. Shorty really want a thug that'll treat her right and burn her knees up on that rug. Come and live the dream. Come and join the team. 8 more than 92, 100. We the dream team. Wanna get away? We can fly, take a plane. And don't bring any luggage. We go shopping when the plane land. Tripping all the time. Everything we rock is name brand. Living in Sin City, stay winning. That's the game plan. Living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City.
No, really, I ain't kidding.
Yeah, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City. Yeah, living in Sin City. Let's get it, come get it with me. We on. Let's make a milli. Just don't get greedy, cause you'll get exposed. That's just how it goes. Missy misdemeanors off that E, don't lose control. Cause we love to turn it up. Got free drinks up at the club. The promoter hooked it up. Up in Vegas, I'm the plug. Cause what happens here only happens here. I get paid to paint the room. Pretty women in the atmosphere. Yeah, I came to play. You can catch me outside, but you gotta pay to play. While I play from 9 to 5. Not a late nights. Early morning race to sunrise. Keep on living in the moment, you'll be right on time. Living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City, learn to hustle and stay litty. This my home, I stay winning. Living in Sin City, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City.
No, really, I ain't kidding.
Yeah, living in Sin City.
Your vacation, what I'm living.
Yeah, I'm living in Sin City. Living in Sin City. Living in Sin City.
Got it bumping.
I got the visions of victory, come and sit with me. Been belligerent from drinking all this Hennessy. Still obsessed with the luxury I manifest. Grateful for my blessings that came with consistency. In any occasion, bet I know how to dress. I learned the game, hustle hard, I'm a street exec. My time is priceless, worth more than a new Protect. Protect my family, my business, yeah, I will invest. Do more, say less, you ain't gotta flex. When you're confident that your squad here is up next. Believe in me, believe in everything that came to be. Cashavelli is my family, we gon' eat. Hopefully I oversee my team overseas. Talking biz, drinking wine while we eating cheese. From the P, I move in P's, I'm a young P. Overseas making plays, tell me what you need.
Got it bumping.
In this rap game, yeah, I'm the MVP. Most valuable poet on the MIC. Sometimes you gotta vibe and let the track breathe. I got the drive while God in the backseat. Staying low, time to go, gotta let them know. I'm in control, but sometimes you gotta let it go. Yo, my work ethic is impeccable. The weed I got is medical. High up on a pedestal. Yo, I got the vision, make the hard decisions. Hit the stool, yeah, I handle business. I'm punching in till you know I'm finished. Hustle hard, yeah, you gon' feel it. Understand the planets align, I'm never stranded. Everything is happening just the way I planned it. It takes time for greatness to unwind. I got a vision, paint pictures when I spit a rhyme.
Oh, no.
addicted to running the game, I be the littest. Still conflicted by the same thing that made me different. I'm painting pictures for my vision. If you pay attention, you gon' learn all the things I learned to stack the riches. Life is vicious, wrapped around temptation. I'm elevated, piped up, they evaporated. All the bullshit that they kick it ain't tolerated. Yeah, enjoy life, everything in moderation. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different. Getting up every day just to handle business. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different. Putting work on the field, but I had the vision. Come on. Yeah, I did it. Cause I had a bigger mission. Intuition never twisted when I had suspicion. Repetition is my teacher, I'ma keep on spitting. And meditation, how I balance when I make decisions. Marijuana, how I wanna medicate. Daily stresses of the life, wanna get away. What I'm kicking specific, broke language can't relate. Cause the riches are coming if you don't hesitate. Spitting lyrics, eventually we be getting paid. Magician flow, watch me make these bitches levitate. Original with the first Vegas culture flow. I'm spitting verses, recording it with my mobile phone. I'm craving conversation, that's the way I feel I made it. Greatness, motivation just for you to make it. Yeah, we all in a simulation. I play the game or I start creating. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different. Getting up every day just to handle business. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different. Putting work on the field, but I had a vision. Cash your value. Yeah, I put on for my bellies. We ready, ain't gotta get ready. Understand, I gotta get it. If God let it, gas me up, unlet it. Cash your belly is the movement, don't forget it.
Come on.
Grammy nominated, all these grams are allocated. On the gram, they be saying I be motivated. The bar raising, Formula One racing. I'm moving fast, corporate thug, living a vacation. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different. They know that I made it cause I did it different. Cause I did it different. Getting up every day just to handle business. Putting work on the field, but I had the vision. And that's exactly how I put myself in position. Yeah, you know that I made it cause I did it different.
Real talk, here we are. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Where is my
Vegas Life Radio.
What's up with it? It's Chris Cash, Jalem here, Vegas Live Radio Podcast, Kevin Sherba, and we have a special guest in the building. We have Sheldon
Vegas Life Radio
Cooper in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Yeah. Hey, it's good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on the air today.
Not a problem, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where's my... This one's like, there you go. So we are here at the Vegas Live Radio Podcast where we talk about, real estate, mortgages, and the overall Vegas lifestyle. And definitely a great lifestyle to be in Las Vegas is the cannabis lifestyle. Cannabis, tattoos, just that whole lifestyle of it. So we got here on the show, if you will, probably the curator of that entire world, Sheldon Cooper, man.
Thank you guys for having me on today.
How are you doing, man?
Beautiful day in paradise.
Yep.
It's 110 degrees in Vegas right now.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It is.
Car, it's like 180.
Right. It's nuts. Last time I was here in the studio, it was like some reason it was like really it was like super cold in the studio because they had the AC like pumping. And then it was so cold in the studio that when I went into the car, I didn't even put the AC on. It just felt so good. And in my car, it was 105 degrees.
And normally that's not the deal here in this studio, huh?
Yeah.
Usually it's hot in here.
It's usually extremely hot in here for sure. And I was just like,
I love it. It feels perfect right now.
Yeah, it's definitely amazing, man. So
cannabis, huh?
Yeah.
What's Sheldon's story on the cannabis?
I'm the founder of All Access Vegas, and we throw festivals around the world. When we travel, we go by All Access USA. Mm-hmm. And I'm the founder and creator of the Cannabis Awards Music Festival.
Oh, nice.
Which we currently throw the festival in Nevada, California, Arizona,
Oh, wow.
We've been doing for the last 6 years. We set the world record for the most trophies by cannabis award ceremony.
Nice.
Yep. So basically, we get paid to make a difference in the cannabis community.
That's awesome. How long have you known Chris Cash over here?
I want to say probably like 7, 8 years.
7, 8 years, huh?
Yeah, it might even be longer.
Yeah, might even be longer, to be honest.
It might even be longer.
Yeah. Chris Cash, I met him. He's at 97.5. The radio station. That's actually where we feature all of our advertising for the festival. And
Nice.
We slowly built the relationship there. And then now Chris runs our main stage at the festivals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Director of entertainment. Yes.
DJing?
Is the title. Yeah. You know, a little bit of DJing, a little bit of performing, but mainly just kind of overseeing and delegating different things and making sure everything runs kind of smooth. And
It's a once a year thing, huh?
we have multiple events. So.
Yeah, once a year in each state.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Chris Cash, he manages all the celebrities, all the time slots. If anyone has any questions or concerns with their stage, he's one of the first people they reach out to. But, you know, some shows we've had, you know, over 30 artists in one day performing. So,
Wow.
Oh man, trust me. And trust me,
And you're managing that?
dealing with artists is a task in itself.
Yeah.
And you know, everybody's, you know, inebriated a little bit, you know, so it's just kind of being able to manage and
Right.
coordinate 30 different artists, and we have all kinds of artists too at
yeah.
the show too, from top to bottom, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like legendary artists, you know.
Yeah.
Some artists that you like, because you like the older school
Right.
artists. Who are some of the artists that we had?
Some of the artists that performed on our lineup, we've had Mike Jones, Little Xan, Corrupt, Cottonmouth Kings. We've had Be Real of Cypress Hill, Sugar Free, DJ Quick, Spice One, Nocturnal.
Yeah.
A full list.
We usually try to do a little bit of rock, reggae, and hip hop at our festivals.
Right.
Yeah, and the rock and reggae acts are super dope too, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good festival. It's a good way to just go and just experience different cultures and different vibes and just different music.
Where do you guys, where is it at? Well, I mean, where do you guys hold them at?
The last 2 years we did Area 15 here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We did an inside and outside stage.
Nice.
But this year we're actually going to be featuring the festival downtown. We're going to be doing a block party for the first time downtown. We're going to be taking over Triple B's, Fremont Country Club.
Oh, nice.
And, surrounding areas all.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Outside as well.
And what was the date for this year?
September 28th.
September
2024.
28th. Thank God it's not in the dead heat of the summer.
Yeah.
Finally starting to cool off, I guess, by that time, right?
Yeah, around
We usually
September
do,
is good.
July 10th on
Yeah.
7/10.
Yeah, we usually do 7/10, right?
Damn.
This is our first
Killer.
time going hosting the festival in September. It's actually the latest we've ever hosted it.
Yeah, but it makes sense. You know what I tell people that Vegas, springtime and fall time,
Best time of the year.
great, amazing weather. Like I feel like I'm in
Right.
California for that short span.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks. Or
We
something.
get we 3 weeks at the beginning and 3 weeks at the end.
Yeah. But that time period right there is beautiful because Vegas has it all. It has everything, all the entertainment, everything. Just the slight drawback is just sometimes it gets to 110 degrees. Sometimes.
Sometimes the wind's blowing and it won't stop.
Yeah,
you know?
but
Number one vacation destination for sure.
there you go. Number one vacation destination. Also, one of the top places to move to and buy some homes at
Right.
is Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The real estate market right now is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's definitely the time to buy if you don't already own one.
Yeah.
Right.
And you own as well, right?
Yeah, I've been in the real estate market for about 9 years now.
Nice.
I've seen a lot of growth, significantly.
Right.
Didn't matter how cheap your house is or how expensive it is. Everyone made at least $100K in their house.
Right.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. Even if you had a house for $100K, it's
Right.
200 now.
Exactly. Exactly.
you
That's
had
100
one,
bands.
yeah.
Come on, man.
If you had one at like 280, now
Yeah.
it's like 400 and some change.
Exactly.
You know, like, but you know, one of my friends, she got one for 1.3 million, and it's 1.9.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So it's
Yeah.
like once you spend a little bit extra money on a property, you could actually make way more than 100. 100 is
Right.
an understatement.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Absolutely.
really is.
Yeah. You know how many ounces you got to sell to get that?
Yeah.
I'm sure he would know.
Yeah, exactly. You would definitely have to sell a lot of
A
pounds.
lot of pounds. How many pounds you got to sell just to make that off a house, off real estate? So with that being said, do you know anybody that's currently buying or selling a house?
Right.
Honestly, I'm always knowing people in the industry looking for properties, looking for new things.
Yeah.
Currently myself, I'm looking for like a fourplex right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you know, once you start just doing residential, then it's like you really start to go for like the fourplexes, and also like apartment buildings.
Yeah.
Right.
And or if you get a hotel, you know, but it's like when you have multiple units of everyone paying you residual income,
absolutely.
and you know, every year you go up on everyone's rent as well, so then you show in your properties gaining value every year as well, which is really important as well.
Right. So with the fourplexes, are you looking to live in one of the rooms or one of the homes, or are you looking at it as an investment property?
Just an investment property.
Okay.
Right now I got an 8-bedroom house, and I'm able to achieve everything I need there, so additional property would just be for investing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I only ask that is just because I've been like really studying like different hacks on like how to get that down payment lower.
Right.
And then me talking with Kevin, if you live in one of the rooms, you could get in with a lower down payment.
Yeah,
right?
because it's considered a primary.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
That's going to be for someone who doesn't own an 8-bedroom house.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't want to move into a 4-unit residence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely would be a huge difference. Absolutely.
Of lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I had to do it, I wouldn't mind doing sacrifices and stuff.
Right.
But, currently, right now, I'm very blessed where I don't have to.
Right.
Yeah. So with the investment, probably it'd have to be 20% down for that.
You could do 15,
15.
but then it has mortgage insurance, and
Okay.
the best is to do 25. That's where you're going to
Nice.
get your best rate.
Oh, sweet. I didn't
Right.
know that.
Yeah, 20. You do 15, and you have a small mortgage insurance. You can do 20, and that doesn't have mortgage insurance. Once you do 25, you're getting like the best interest rate you can.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, if you do 60% loan to value or you do 40% down, you get a little better, but you get a pretty good break if you do the extra 5 on top
That's
of the 20.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many rental? So you say how many rental properties do you think you own?
Right now, I just have my main property, so that's
Okay.
why I'm starting to look into.
You haven't jumped in
investment
yet
properties.
on
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. In the beginning, I was always thinking about maybe getting like a condo or
Right.
another house. But then when you really start thinking about it, you're like, you got to have multiple units. You can't just have one, you know? You got to really start thinking outside the box.
Diversify more.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. And it's crazy to see the market, how much it has jumped too, because when I was first looking at fourplexes a couple of years ago, they were like $200,000 or $300,000 cheaper, where you could find some between like $200,000 to $400,000.
Right.
And now you're
6+.
Now you're lucky to find something over like $590.
Yeah, and they're typically
Right.
not in a great
No.
a great place.
Well, and that probably points to like the Vegas area, not just home
Yeah.
values, but rents
Yeah.
Yeah.
are huge here.
Oh, yeah.
The
They've
rental market blew
skyrocketed.
up. So I mean, that's these investors are going, wow, you can actually make money out here now. When I came in here in 2015,
Yeah.
rent was cheap.
Right. Yeah.
And now these other companies came in, bought
Yeah.
up all these rentals, pushed the rent up so high. So now it's like really sought after to buy investment properties.
Yeah. 100%. Like rent for an apartment was between like $500 to $1,100, and now it's like you can't even find anything less than $1,200.
Right.
An apartment.
A 1-bedroom in a not so great area.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I never really realized how much the market has changed, you know?
Right.
Until like you start looking at the properties and the numbers, and you're like, wow, this market is blew up.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes like we talked about all the time, Chris. It's that there's no inventory
Right.
either.
Yeah.
You know, you're in search for a 4-unit.
Yeah.
Lucky to
And
find
there's-
one,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
like nothing really out there.
right.
Have you ever thought about like just kind of buying a single family home on a bigger lot, and then maybe house hacking each room,
I know what you're talking
and
about.
then maybe building something
ADU.
like
Right.
building something like
A lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah.
That would be huge, actually.
Yeah.
Because like with land and everything, it's actually still not too bad right now.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like you could get like 10, 20 acres. It's not gonna be in the heart of Vegas, but you could definitely find something like, especially like Pahrump. It's not even like an hour away.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new blow up
Yeah.
area, I
Pahrump,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we seen when we were looking at the Pahrump area, we seen a lot of great houses, a lot of land, lot size.
$100,000 cheaper.
Yeah, way
You know
cheaper.
what I mean?
Yeah. But it is in Pahrump, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
It's a little bit of a commute to the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything I hear you, it's like 15 minutes away, but once you go to Pahrump, it's like 45 minutes to an hour away. And
Right.
you wanna go.
Yep. Which isn't too bad.
But yeah, what he was talking about was buying like an older home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That has the bigger lots, like 1980s and before.
Yeah.
They had big
Absolutely.
lots, right? Big backyards.
Mm-hmm.
And so people, what they do, like what you were talking about, is you find a 4 or 5 bedroom.
Yeah.
You rent the rooms instead of the whole house,
Yeah.
and then you do an ADU, build an ADU in the back,
Yeah.
like a
Nice.
2-bedroom
Yeah.
condo in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's an adjacent unit,
Yeah.
and then it becomes that multiple units you're looking for.
No,
You know?
100%. Tesla has it now. Like you could just get a house already pre-made.
Oh yeah. Right.
You know, I think for like 10 or 20K.
Yeah. And Amazon
And
too, right?
Amazon
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Where
They like 3D print them or what?
Hell yeah.
yeah, it's Legos.
Yeah. No, it looks like
Lego
a.
house.
They be looking like the containers, right? The
Yeah.
container homes?
Yeah.
Okay.
They be looking like
Yeah.
that, you know.
Pre-made, ready to go.
Yeah.
And you know, everything's like kind of reminds me of Europe, how it's like smaller living.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That would make sense for that 10-acre parcel you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
You just put a whole bunch of those on it. Make your own little neighborhood and rent it
Yeah.
out.
Have your own village.
Yeah. You know what? I went to what's that? Zappos. They had a little. They bought a motel, and then they kind of gutted it all out, and they put a bunch of the tiny homes in there. Where what's the owner who passed away? Tony.
Yeah.
Where Tony Shea?
Yeah.
He actually used to live there. With all his friends.
Wow.
And it was literally like one of those downtown motels. They gutted it all out,
Yeah.
and they just put a bunch of those tiny homes all around it. And
That's
then
sick.
in the middle, they had like a community like get together, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like a
Spot.
a spot, a stage. You know, people were performing. They had the little fire pit,
Little party area?
Yeah, a little party area, and they had like the main where the hotel was, like the main area. And I was like, that's a pretty dope vibe. Like,
Yeah.
just to be able to create that, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely a visionary.
Yeah.
It really sucks he passed away.
Yeah.
He rechanged the whole downtown area.
He did.
Yeah,
He
he
did.
reinvented the whole thing
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Until Sheldon Cooper is gonna come in there and start changing stuff up.
Yeah,
You know,
He's like, it's my turn.
It's
yeah.
take what he passed down to you.
Yeah,
And just
dude,
go ahead and keep running with it.
Definitely a huge role model.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, because when I went to that event, it gave me the vibe of the same vibe that I get when I go to the Cannabis Awards.
Yes.
Is everybody's just like super cool, super chill, and then they have their main events, center, and then everybody just had their own little houses like all around, and I was just like, this is a vibe.
Wow, that's huge.
You know what I mean? So what is on the horizons for you and the Cannabis Awards and everything?
Yeah, basically every single year we're just growing naturally. We've reached over 1 million votes online from around the world. It's really neat to see the community come together. We create a platform where it's 100% free to be a judge.
Oh, okay.
So anyone from around the world could voice their opinion on who they think's the best individuals, the best products, and some of the best staff around the world. And then essentially each year we're just creating new technology to bring everything to stay modern. We're the first festival to have it where you could see the person you're voting on. Or like, say, the flower, the product, you could actually see it online. So a lot of people would do like voting where you'd have to go to a dispensary and pick up products and try it. But we actually did it quite different, where like you could literally be at the comfort of your home, not even leave it. If you do want to try any of the products, you could just order at a local dispensary near you. Harding does free delivery as well. But basically, they'd be able to vote on their number one strains, their number one drinks, their number one snacks.
Okay.
And it's really cool. Some technology that we're going to be putting together is not just photos, but actually have a video.
Okay.
So kind of like an animated, like say the flower, it could be spinning in a circle, so you could see from all angles.
Oh, just when you're voting, or
say voting, or
because that'd be cool when I'm trying to buy some weed. I want to see that motherfucker thin.
Some of like the chocolate, you can see the chocolate dropping to the floor. Animated videos. And then even for individuals, we actually have categories for best like model, comedian. We actually have a category for best realtor as well.
Oh, hey.
There you go, Chris. I mean, you're already managing the situation, so might as well get on the, get a vote.
Hey, how you guys doing? If anybody's looking to buy or sell real estate here in Las Vegas, Chris Cash Jalem, your go-to Las Vegas realtor.
They have you on the mic at the events?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Yeah.
So that's the really neat thing is like imagine seeing your realtor and the video of him before you vote, you know, or seeing the photo of them, so it's kind of like neat little things that we're really starting to put together for the festival for the first time.
Because people gotta understand, people that love to smoke weed, there's nothing like smoking weed in your own home that you own. Nobody can tell you nothing. Like,
that's correct.
This is my home.
Yeah.
Snacks are just a couple feet away.
Yeah. 100%.
Hell yeah, especially how hot it's getting, dude. You don't want to be outside
No, you don't.
all the time.
Yeah.
Stay inside.
There's a lot of stigma against weed still,
Right.
Like tourists, we have hundreds of thousands of tourists that come every year, and then they have nowhere they could legally smoke.
Yeah. You can smoke at my house. No,
And now they have it where New has the cannabis lounge.
Yep.
Thrive and Planet 13 have it where you have a safe place where you can smoke. But what about if you didn't feel like going out?
Right,
What
exactly.
about if you didn't feel like going to a lounge and spending a lot of money, because it's kind of like bottle service. It's a lot more when you go to a dispensary to smoke. It's one thing buying weed and then having it at your property be able to smoke, but actually consuming it there's actually additional charges.
Yeah, exactly.
And commissions and taxes and everything that you have to pay for. But I'm happy Vegas is starting to line up for that, where they do have those opportunities. But what I'm hoping for is the casinos to slowly start allowing it, where it's like if you're spending $300-400 on a room, you should be able to smoke weed or cigarette in your room if you really want to.
Right.
I personally don't believe anyone should smoke in a cigarette in a hot box where they're sleeping, but it's kind of like I feel like the individual should have that choice. Like not just have to go to Arizona Charlie's smoke a cigarette in the room,
Is that the last one?
Like, it'd be cool if you go to the Cosmo and have like, a loft area, and you could just burn and smoke and not even worry about it. You know?
Yeah.
But eventually everything will get there. Trump's tower, it's a $700 fine if you get caught smoking. Even if you own the property. And it's yours.
I didn't even know.
Oh, like if you have a townhome in there or a condo in there?
Condo in there, yeah. I didn't even know that.
If they find out you're smoking in your room, it's a $700 fine for each day.
Damn.
Yeah. And,
So, wow.
My friend had a spot there, but he never smoked weed there.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
He's like, I'm coming over to your place, bro.
Yeah.
I can't smoke at my house.
Yeah. So do you know if there's any stipulations with people who work in the cannabis industry as far as buying property or being able to qualify?
Has any of your people that are in the industry ran into problems with that?
Honestly, it does become a little challenging, you know. The really good thing is a lot of the weed brands have DBAs and brands they also do business as. So that's kind of like their loophole.
Okay.
So like certain brands will say something on the packaging, but whenever they actually pay out everyone, it's different name and everything.
Oh, okay.
But it just it's kind of unfortunate because a lot of the grants, you have to be like in an industry where you don't smoke weed. There's not that many grants for people that do smoke weed. So as an example, when I was in the culinary union on the strip, you couldn't smoke weed to be in the union.
You know, the culinary is very strict about that.
And it's just, kind of unfortunate because say if you do have severe back pain or anxiety, you still can't even smoke weed. And it's like, you might be an amazing chef, you might be an amazing, a bartender or a waitress or whatever, but the stigma is still there where you cannot smoke weed and being in these industries. And I think it's kind of unfortunate because it's like you could be prescribed pills,
Right, exactly.
You can have narcotics,
Oxycontin,
opiates,
or Lortabs or whatever, and then it's like you actually have a plant that's actually, scientifically proven to be beneficial for you and your body. And in some cases, like RSO to even help with cancer and CBD and everything. And it's kind of still, the stigma is still there,
Right.
But, eventually I hope everything loosens up. And I hope, as time goes on, it'll be definitely more acceptable.
Yeah. And it's crazy, too, how that stigma is there, because I know a lot of great business people that really take care of their business and are really good, and they smoke weed.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah, it's not like everybody who smokes is super lazy.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
That's the stigma, though.
Yeah. I know when I smoke, I get lazy, but
Yeah, 100%.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, but I do have to say, anyone that is in like the culinary union or in the food and beverage industry in Vegas, they do have a program where they do $10,000 in assistance, which actually is counted as a second lien. And you honestly don't pay it back until you sell or refinance your property. So if anyone is like a bartender, a waitress, or a chef or anything, I do strongly recommend doing the culinary union. They offer a first-time home buyer class as well.
Right.
So then before you do that big jump, like myself, I took the class to really learn about the industry and the market, kind of how stuff works. Because a lot of it they don't really teach you in school, or you might not have friends that might own a property, I
didn't.
A lot of them might just rent, and you might be the first one out of everyone in your family or friends to even buy a property, or consider even doing it. So my best advice I give for anyone trying to purchase a property is to see if there's any grants or funding that could potentially help you out. Yeah, it does become a little challenging on paperwork a little bit, but honestly, when you're signing up to buy a house, you're going to be doing paperwork no matter what.
Right.
And if you're not in the culinary union, and you're just trying to find a grant or anything, I also suggest a program called LIFT, which is LIFT, and they actually give you $15,000 towards your property.
Yeah.
And how it works is every year you get $3,000 of that where you won't have to pay back. So if you stay at your property for 5 years, the whole $15,000 is forgiven.
Oh, wow.
So you actually won't have to pay any of it back. But if you stayed at your house for 2 years, it only counts like a $6,000 credit, and you would actually have to pay back $9,000 once you sold it. But what I did is, in my property, I got the culinary union and the lift, and I ended up getting $25,000 in grants.
Wow.
And I stayed for 4 years, and then made over $100,000, and then I paid the culinary back $10K, and then the lift I only owed $3,000 out of the $15K that was lent to me. So just some strategies that I used myself that I recommend in the housing industry, because never think you can never buy, never shut yourself down on possibilities. The thought of owning a house, I was always like, oh my gosh, I can't do that, that's like so much money, how could I ever do that? And then once you start looking at the programs and everything, you actually don't have to do as much down as you might think. Sometimes like people don't realize it's 3.5% down, and for every $100,000 that's basically $3,500. So if you find a house for around $300,000, you're basically paying a little over $10,000 for your down payment. And who knows, you might have family or friends or a grant or a system that could help you out make that possible.
And I'm going to hire him as a loan officer.
This guy, I didn't even know he knew all this.
He just told me all of the down payment assistance.
I didn't even know.
So the culinary is actually something that we do through, it's in the Nevada Partners down payment assistance.
Okay.
It is.
They have the culinary one. They have the WISH program. Well, I think that there's a handful of them with Nevada Partners, and then the lift one. Then they have, we have all of them.
So you're saying everyone that's under culinary union has access to this?
Right.
They do. And the thing is too, I was in the union such an early time. I was the only person that I ever met that actually did both opportunities.
Oh, wow.
So now they have it where you actually have to pick either or.
Oh, wow.
So now you
got
can't.
loopholed in.
Yeah.
He stacked him, and they were like, "Wait a second,
hold on, we can't be doing this."
Yeah. And so, if I had to personally pick one, I'd say lift.
Right.
Just because
more money.
It is forgivable after you stay there for 5 years, and essentially it is $15K instead of $10K. So you're essentially getting 50% more.
Wow.
And that goes down for your down payment, and the rest goes towards your equity or whatever. But I highly suggest anyone to look into it. And the application fees are extremely affordable and extremely cheap. I think it was like $100. But to the amount of money they could potentially get you, it's 100% worth it,
Absolutely.
And there's like millions of dollars from
sitting
the government
there, right?
that's just waiting, like, hey, like, does anyone else need support? And it's like,
lonely stacks of money.
And and they put that because we're going through tough times, with COVID, and the industry is still not where it was. Like, it might seem like it online, it might seem like it in person sometimes, but whenever you actually look at all the numbers, the people are really hurting for money right now.
Absolutely.
They really are. Especially renters right now. They're drowning right now. So that's why it's very important you buy a property. It's actually very beneficial to have one. And honestly, even if you can't afford it yourself, you could still get roommates and people to help out. And there's different assistants to help you out as well.
Well, I guess my question to you is, what gave you this? Like, did you have a mentor? What gave you? Because it seems like you're very knowledgeable, and you got in early at a time when possibly your peer group wasn't talking about it. You weren't. How did you get this information? What gave you this perspective to own and buy?
I changed my whole group of friends.
Dumped them all.
That's kind of like
Y'all ain't talking about nothing.
yeah, it's kind of like when you hang out with the same group and they have the same goals, you kind of find yourself having the same goals. Once you change your whole group of friends and who you're hanging out with and what's going on, one of my friends, she had 5 properties, and she was telling me how each one she has a bank account separately for.
Oh, yep.
And the name of the bank account is actually the street address.
Right. LLCs.
LLCs.
Yeah.
Talked about that on a previous
That's
show.
when my gears really started rolling. I was like, oh my God. I thought people only have one bank account.
Yeah, right.
I didn't realize like people would create a whole new bank account and a whole new business license. LLC just for a property, you know?
Right.
Because a lot of people think they might just have to put it in their name or et cetera, where you really don't, you know?
Right.
And you know, and then one of my friends was telling me about the culinary program, and he was like, dude, why don't you get a house? And at the time, the market was really low. You know, you could get like a 3 or 4 bedroom house and pay like $1,200 a month.
When did you buy your first one?
When I bought my first one, it was about 2018. And it was really cool because the market, there's just so many houses on the market. Like, you could actually be picky. You're like, oh, you know, I want 2 stories, and you could find one that had 2 stories, or like, oh, I want a pool, you know. And you literally had a bunch of options with a pool. But it was kind of like, you know, the thing is when you surround yourself with people in the industry that have bought houses, and even multiple houses, they give you good advice, like, hey, you know, this is how you get funding. It's from a loan officer. And people are like, what's that? You know, it's kind of like who gives you the money, you know?
It's like the most important part.
You know, like some people are like, oh, I want a $500,000 house, where it's like, well, did your loan officer approve that? Because you might only be approved for $200K, you know, where you don't really know. Like you might have to add in a family member or a loved one or something to get that like roll up a little bit, you know. But in the beginning, you know, I got approved for a couple $1,000s, and it was literally the exact amount of my property. At the time, it was like $150K, and my property was only $120K. Right. So that's another thing, is just because you get approved for a certain amount doesn't mean you have to spend that. Right. That's another thing, is so if you get approved for $3 million, technically you don't need to spend $3 million. You could find something for $1 million or $2 million, you know. But it just depends on what your goals are. If you see an apartment complex for $3 million, I'd suggest take the full amount and like get it. But if it's worth like, oh, just getting a house for, you know, $1 million or $2 million, and you're comfortable with that, then just do that. You don't have to get the total amount. That was something I never really realized, you know. And get a loan officer you don't mind calling or you feel comfortable with, because this loan officer is going to potentially change your whole life forever. Based on the interest rate they give you, based on hidden points and different hidden objectives. You got to have someone you really trust. And same thing with your realtor. You got to have a realtor you don't mind calling. You don't mind telling them how you really feel. Because if you're kind of just wasting someone's time and not telling them why you're not really wanting that house, you're only wasting time of yourself and your realtor, you know. But at the end of the day, you're really wasting your time, you know, because your realtor is always going to be there for you. But it's like, if you don't even know what you want, it's like, that's kind of what you got to realize before you even start getting loan officers and realtors, is just really sit down and ask yourself, what do I want? You know, like how many bedrooms, how many baths? Do you want a backyard or you don't want a backyard? You know, like if you really want land and you want like a full backyard or front yard or side yard, get something a little older. You know, if you're going to get a brand new developed house, chances are you're not going to have that same land as you have with an older property. Because right now they're just trying to pack as many properties as they can in that 100 acres, you know. It wasn't before we're like, oh, let's give them a little extra, you know, space, you know. And just to give you an example, a house for like 200,000 had about 8,000 square foot lot, but then a house for like 400,000 had a square lot of 3,500.
Right.
And you're like, how am I spending double the price but way less square feet for the whole lot?
Yeah.
And because it's not really about how much money it is, it's how new it is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something I never really realized until I started looking at brand new properties and everything. Because my goal is to have a brand new house. And I literally picked one out and everything. Then once you start really picking out every cabinet, every doorknob, and every little, you know, like how many rooms you're going to have, everything, then you're like, dude, I lost my whole backyard.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
lost side yards.
Exactly.
There is no front yard.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I might have a little fake patch of fake grass, and that's about it. And a barbecue, you know.
Yeah.
But like an older house, like you could have room to set up a whole pool, or you could set up like multiple office space, or like anything back there, you know.
Right.
So with me, you know, I always recommend people not to buy the newest property, but find something a little old where you get a little bit more space. And I've kind of always been old school, where instead of investing up in like 2 or 3 stories, I like to invest like on one level and go farther out.
A lot of space, yeah.
And so you actually get more land. And you know, that's kind of been my motto every time. So I've never bought any 2-story or 3-story properties. I've always done single-story properties, you know.
Yeah.
Cheaper on the electric bill too,
Yeah.
Correct. It really
because it's way
is.
hot here.
And actually one stories are more favorable. Like just,
they
just me
are.
being
Right.
in the market.
Yeah.
They're actually priced a higher.
Yeah.
And they're just more favorable.
And sometimes like AC units, you might need to have 2 or 3 in a multi-story property.
Right.
Because running all of it off one, you're overpowering your AC. So it'll actually go out way faster as well.
You know what you're talking about with them being more expensive for the same square footage? It's because it requires a larger lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because you can, you know, have a 2,500 square foot home, two-story on this tiny lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's up and down, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got 3-story homes now that are all skinny.
Yeah.
They look like skinny homes. I'm like, that looks interesting.
Yeah, when your kitchen's on the 2nd floor and you gotta walk up
For
every
groceries.
single day for groceries, you
rough.
start realizing like, dang, what did I really sign up for right now?
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right.
And I'm from California, so California we have, you know,
Space.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
do.
mean? Even when I grew up in California, it was a 1-story. And
Right.
it was just like, so.
Most of California was built in the old school times. You
Yeah,
know? Like
exactly.
50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of the 1-stories here are on the older areas of
Right.
Vegas. And I actually like those areas more because those areas are like no HOAs.
Correct.
And the lot sizes are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And those are definitely favorable properties and stuff.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
just like saying a high rise, you know, like you might be spending about $3,100 a month for like a 2-bedroom out here. But even when you own your property, your association will always be $700 a month. And it's actually rises usually every couple of years as well.
Yeah, the condos are expensive.
And so like even if you bought out your high rise, you know, say the Panorama or the Martin, and you know, you spend $500,000 on it, it's like you'll still have to pay $700 every single month
Forever.
no matter what.
HOA, yeah.
But you're gonna have a gym, you know,
but it's gonna be fine.
jacuzzi,
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have your own private security every single day, you
Yeah.
know. But I usually recommend people that, you know, don't live such a private life where they don't need all those amenities. Just get something where you have a low HOA or you don't have one at all.
Yeah.
You know, my property, I don't have no HOA. And it feels good to leave the little trash cans out for an extra day. You put up a little basketball net.
Whatever,
You know, you're not
yeah.
going to get in trouble, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you might take out the trash a day early and not have to worry about no headaches, you know? But, you know, that is the cool thing about not having the HOA, you know? You don't have to have a landscaper do your lawn every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You might have them do it every month or two,
Yeah.
you know? But with the HOA, you know, always make sure you check into it. Make sure you see what all the rules are. Because if you don't follow the rules, you're going to pay the fines.
Yeah.
and they're slowly going to get the money out of you.
Right.
And some of the fines like might seem petty, and some of the warnings might seem petty, but you got to keep in mind they're trying to keep a good environment. And honestly, it's worth it, you know. If you pay a HOA, all the houses are going to keep their value.
Right.
They're going to be looking nicer. When you aren't in that HOA area, it's kind of like, dude, someone could not give a F and just like let their whole front yard go.
Yeah.
Maybe not do maintenance for a whole year out front, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, you know, just make sure you know what you really want, you know? Because the HOA does have its perks with keeping the values and everything with the properties looking good. But then it's also like, hey,
drawbacks.
They're going to have to make their money every single month too, you know? So just keep that in mind. Some of them do it quarterly too. So sometimes people don't want to pay monthly. So 5 months quarterly, you know?
Yeah, all those Karens taking pictures.
Yeah.
Your trash can was out for an extra hour.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my gosh. So there was this one party that I went to. It was a big mansion. It was a mansion party, and it had a big lot. Have you ever thought about actually purchasing one of those type of properties? That way you could, you know, possibly start throwing future events in the future? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've always thought about that, but I kind of realized, like, you can't throw parties where you sleep, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost a golden rule where it's kind of like you can't shit where you sleep, you know?
How about as an investment property? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, what I realized, like, far as investment properties, I would do something where you just do rentals, like, far as, like, one tenant that stays there for 1 to 5 years. And then that's always a really smart thing. You could always do like Airbnb if you want, or do private rentals. Like I've seen people rent out their house for full-on weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like,
exactly,
dang, you know, like it doesn't even have to be a party. It could just be someone's wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
But with the market, with how much everything costs, it might be cheaper to throw a wedding at someone's house, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
But with me personally, I realized like I would always want to have a venue for events because there's always stage, sound, lighting, and a sense of credibility doing it at a venue that people are familiar with. Yeah. Once you kind of do something like low key or like an investment property that is for that, I realize it doesn't bring the same scale to it, you know? Because like you might only be able to have 20 or 30 people at that event versus a venue where you could have 1,200 up to like 10,000 people there, you know? Yeah. And by the time you're done spending money for renting stages, sound, lighting for every single event, it's like you might as well own a venue that has a stage and sound and lighting at that point, you know?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, but the cool thing is we always like throwing festivals at different states and different properties. So we've always like just did like temporary 1-day rentals up to 3-day rentals on the event space. Okay. But it's great to see how the cannabis industry and the real estate market are coming together because people are selling cultivations, you know? If anyone's ever interested in buying a facility where they could grow legally and everything, it starts around $6 million. Okay,
so you're talking about the actual facility that
where you could process and grow and sell legally.
Okay.
In the state of Nevada.
So with that, would they have to apply for the necessary license too, or how does that?
No, basically they would just have a lender that approves them for over $6 million. And then at that point it would attach all the licenses with it.
Really?
So when you buy the property, it already is licensed for you, so you don't have to resubmit it.
Yeah. And these are commercial properties, right?
They are commercial properties. Sometimes they might not even be by anybody, just because sometimes when you're doing a grow, you almost have to have a certain sense of private, you know, area where like your neighbors aren't peeking over the wall, like what's going on over there? You know,
I smell something.
Yeah, you know, you got over a $6 million farm. You know,
right?
It's kind of like old school where you at least want a couple feet to breathe. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because you know you don't want anyone stealing your crops or potentially, you know, like setting, you know, up for like a lick or a robbery. You know,
right.
Because I've seen some of the biggest cultivations around the world, and security is a huge important step, you know. Like honestly, when you see it grow, it's not like a McDonald's where they're like telling people about it, where they have a huge golden arches.
Yeah.
Where like a lot of these facilities, you won't even see a sign, won't even tell you what it is.
Right.
Like, you know, there's one right in front of the Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I know that
It
one.
just looks like a random little office,
Yeah.
you know. Might be doing office work, but then it's like right when you walk in, you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
this is freaking sweet. You know?
Yeah.
But you got to think about all those fans like walking to the Raiders game.
They're like,
You do
"Smells
not
good."
want
Oh,
all
right.
those Raiders
know.
fans to
Right.
know where there's hundreds of pounds of weed. You know, like they might just come knocking on the door and just say trick or treat.
So is that the same with dispensaries as well, to be able to transfer those licenses too, or is it
Yeah,
different?
usually they only approve a certain amount of licenses, sometimes up to like 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
And once you're approved, it's like they're worth a lot of money. Because when you travel the world, you start realizing a basic, like say cultivation or dispensary license, it might be several $1 million out here in Vegas.
Right.
But in like states like Oklahoma, it's only $2,500.
$2,500.
Yeah, so you could have your own
Wow.
dispensary for $2,500.
Are you moving? I'm just kidding.
No. So
And
that's
your
the
own
reason.
cultivation. And so they actually have the most cultivations and dispensaries out of any other state in the U.S.
And that's the reason why I was wondering, because we had did a show in Oklahoma, and I was like, why is he doing it in Oklahoma?
Right.
That's the reason why.
It was. Oklahoma had more dispensaries than any other state, and it had over 1,800.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
So just to give an example, New York had about 70 now, and they
wow.
just began.
Oh wow.
And so to go from like 70 to 1,800
Uh-huh.
is a huge jump.
Yeah.
But you also got to keep in mind, as a business owner, the market's a lot more saturated because in Oklahoma you have a lot more people that have their licensing.
Right.
Because it's way more affordable. It's way easier to get.
Does that mean that the product is cheaper, you think?
You know, the product is good out there.
Because it's like competitive with so many people selling.
You almost have to have really good product to even be able to sell it, right? Because if it's too low grade, like you'll get some buyers, but you'll always attract the low income people that could only buy not that much.
Right. Right.
Like low income buyers are gonna buy like maybe 1 gram to 2 grams. We'll just say $10 or $20.
Right.
And when you're selling very expensive stuff like cookies, like the burner weed,
Yeah.
people are spending about $150 to $500 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you almost want to have a better product because naturally you're going to do way more sales, go through way more volume.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, be able to really be proud of your product.
So if I were a consumer and I was looking for the best possible product for retail and wholesale, what would you recommend for me to do?
I always like to do a nice indica. I prefer that over a sativa, hybrid, or CBD. And I also recommend doing an indoor. So they have something called outdoor, that's a greenhouse, or they also call it sun grown. I personally, it's not my favorite, just because I feel the quality of indoor weed, one's a lot more expensive, but two, I feel like you could taste the quality way differently. Where you know, I won't smoke outdoor weed.
Right.
Like it's literally, I will not.
Right.
Like it's kind of like when you drink wine and
yeah, absolutely.
you or even champagne, you start getting a point where after eventually you don't want to drink barefoot no more. You know?
Hey man, hey, I like barefoot.
Yeah.
You still be drinking it by the bottle?
Yeah, you know.
It's award winning. It says it on there.
Yeah, when you get a whole bottle for like $3, you know, you might sometimes want to get like a little $20 bottle or $100 bottle, you know. Where the cannabis, I feel, is the same way, and sometimes with the housing as well, you got to kind of do that too.
And
Sometimes you
and what
just spend
brands?
extra
And
dollars.
what brands you said? You mentioned cookies, right?
Like some of the brands I really love, some of the award-winning brands at our festival as well. I really love the Grower Circle. I love Polaris. I love GLP. LP Exotics is really nice. You know, how you could really tell is the most expensive brands usually are the best.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like if you got a really cheap product and really bad product, you really can't do no ballpark numbers on that product because people are going to get it one time and never buy it again.
Yeah.
But instead of like a $10 or $20 eighth, I would buy like a $60 or $70 eighth.
Yeah.
Just because I kind of feel like it's worth spending the extra money because you're going to get a way better quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it'll also be indoor at that point as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something I suggest is getting a nice indoor flower. You know, even if it's a sativa, hybrid, CBD, anything, as long as it's indoor, you'll be good.
Okay.
But remember, sativa is kind of like if you want to get stuff done for the day.
Yep, that's me.
If you got houses you got to show.
Give me some indoor sativas, baby.
Yeah, and then indica is more for like into couch. Like if you're ready to go to sleep, you've had a long day, you know, like you kind of just need something to help you go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, because indicas are very heavy.
Yeah.
And with the terpene profiles, it actually makes you more tired and sleepy naturally.
Nice.
And sativas are, with their terpene profiles, they're actually more for you to handle some stuff and get stuff done. You know, the perfect example is a Jack Herrera.
Oh, yeah.
Their strain, once you
Sativa.
smell
Talking about
it's
sativa.
a sativa.
Sativa, okay.
You know.
So definitely recommend Jack.
Yeah, and like a Gorilla Glue would be more of like an indica, you know. But like I said, it's something like more into couch.
Okay, well, what's your favorite? Because I'm leaning towards sativa. What is your top sativa?
I really like the Jack Herrera, and then also if you see anything with lemon. Anything with lemon, like say lemon haze as an example, when you see lemon in the name, it's automatically probably going to be a sativa. You know, and you'll smell because they smell more fruity, like more sweet. Indica, it smells more like gassy. You know, you know, kind of have a little bit of difference. You know.
Kevin, are you a sativa or indica person?
If I'm gonna smoke, it's usually a sativa.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be sleepy.
Yeah. He's got a lot of numbers to crunch.
A lot of stuff
Yeah, no, 100%.
Sweet. Yeah. So kind of approaching our hour. Is there we had a great conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to add to people out there that are you know wanting to know about possibly real estate, possibly mortgages, or possibly the cannabis industry?
Yeah, what I always recommend is, you know, the first step is, you know, I always found the realtor because they usually work with a lender and, you know, a little bit, they're good at, you know, telling you kind of like the steps and the processes. If you are in the culinary, they actually have a list of the realtors for you as well.
Yeah. Or just go to Chris Cash, Jalem.
Absolutely.
Go to that guy. You don't need a list. That's the only thing you know.
Send him to me, and then we'll get him done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, basically, you know, like I said, always make sure you have a realtor you trust. That's the number one thing. You know, growing up, I had a friend that was a realtor, and I didn't even know it. And I was actually going to use him for a deal, and then he was actually charging me a lot behind the points, which I didn't realize. And a girl I had no idea about, didn't even really talk to her, she charged me half the points.
Oh, wow.
And she didn't know me, and I was like, that's so crazy. Sometimes, like, someone you might not even know might be giving you the best hookup you ever even imagine, but then someone you really think's like one of your best friends or really close might be taking advantage of you because they know how close you are, you know. So, you know, always make sure it's someone you trust, rely on, you know, and like if something sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So sometimes if you might see something on Zillow and your realtor's like, dude, that's not even on sale. You know, like there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on Zillow and other apps you just can't
Yeah.
believe, you know, it's not really the current market or what's really available. So really like talk to your realtor first to see what actually is available, because there's certain apps where you might think something's available, like not even just Zillow, it could be like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone's like trying to have you buy a house and you're like, dude, that does not look
That's
like
legit.
something
Doesn't
like this.
exist.
Yeah, you know, so
They don't
like,
even own it.
yeah, kind of like be aware of scams. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm trying to get at is,
Mhm.
you know, do your diligence, you know, make sure you're working with someone you could trust,
Mhm.
you know, and, you know, just try to see the best interest rate you could get. You know, you might have to put a little bit more down than your 3.5%, but sometimes it's way worth it, especially if you're in a financial position where you could, you know, give 20, 25%, do it, you know, 100%, you know, and even if you do get locked in and not the best interest rate, you could always refinance. So don't let that like stop you from buying a property. Just because like in the beginning I was kind of going through that where I was like, man, this interest rate is so high. But then 2 months later it's even higher.
Right.
5 months ago you're thinking it's going to go down. Oh no, that just went up. Like there was no going back down, you know? Like you really like shouldn't have that hold you back, because the amount of money you can make between that 1 to 4 years waiting, you might have made over $100,000,
Yeah.
but it's at a 7 instead of a 5.
Exactly.
That was your deal breaker.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize
a good
like
point.
you can't let that really hold you back, because my first house had a 3.5%. I was like, oh my God, it's at 5.5.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like they're robbing me. This is highway robbery. I'm not gonna do it. And then my friend's like, no, dude, just do the 5.5. You're good. And then just pay it down. And then like a couple of years later, I paid like $4,000, and my interest rate's 2.75 now.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's actually cheaper than what my first house was, but you could actually pay it down when you refinance, where sometimes people think when you refinance, you have to take money out, but you could actually refinance and put more money in and get a way better rate as well, which is something I never knew. And so when I did that, now it's like, instead of paying like $1,800 a month, now it's like $1,400 a month.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And it's like, just because you gave them a couple extra thousand, now I'm gonna probably save over $30,000
Yeah.
by just that 4,000. You know,
Yeah.
because I did at such an early stage of the term of my loan. But
Right.
also don't refinance when you're like 20 years down. You know, I usually suggest within the first like, you know, couple years, you know, do it. Like don't wait after 20 years. And then also another thing is never like fully pay off your house. I always recommend like taking money out to then rebuy another property as an investment property as well. Because I always grew up always thinking always like pay off that house before you even start looking at anything else.
Right.
But you could actually take money out and get a whole other property.
Yes.
Even if you don't even think you have the means or the money to do it, like consult your realtor and your lender, because you might have $200,000 or $300,000 extra in equity right now, and you might be able to take an extra $80,000 out and invest that into another property.
Yeah.
You know, for rentals or, you know, Airbnb or anything. And, you know, you're actually paying off 2 houses instead of 1, 3 houses instead of 1, you know? And so I've seen a lot of success with that as well. But never the way, you know, our name's Sheldon with All Access Vegas. You could find me on the Instagram, All Access USA, Twitter, Social Club, TikTok, literally website, All Access USA on every single platform. We've presented and hosted over 1,000 different concerts around the world. So if anyone has any ideas, they need help throwing an event, we also help facilitate helping others with their events as well. And then if you guys happen to be in Vegas, come stop by the Nevada Cannabis World Music Festival, September 28th. we're going to be doing an official downtown block party. And
Nice.
thank you guys so much for having us on the air today. I feel like we went through some hot tips right here in the Las Vegas real estate market.
Yes,
Nice.
sir.
And we did not rehearse with him, by the
No.
way, everybody.
I
It sounded rehearsed because of how good he was.
I honestly did not know you knew all this information, man. So props to you. And that's why we have these conversations in these podcasts, because you never know the knowledge that people have if they would just ask. You know, me and Sheldon hung out so many times, but we never just sat down and said, let's talk about real estate. You know what I mean? So this is the first time that I've actually talked to him about real estate, and come to find out, this guy is
savvy,
very savvy, extremely savvy.
Thank you, guys.
And I'm very impressed and blessed to be able to sit down and be able to be part of this conversation. And the reason why I started the podcast is because, like you said earlier, you didn't have a circle of friends that were able to talk about these topics and subjects. These topics and subjects that can absolutely change the course of your life.
Absolutely. Life-changing.
That can build wealth, that can give you financial freedom, so you can just smoke weed at your house all day if you wanted to.
Yeah, 90% of 90% of millionaires are from real estate, you know?
Nice.
Wow.
And so
that's what you're shooting for, Chris.
Yeah, millionaires for sure.
Yeah,
man. Thank you so much. You have anything before we go?
No, man. That was a good. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks so
Vegas
much,
Life
Kevin.
Podcast.
Thanks so much, Chris Cash.
Sheldon Cooper, Kevin Sherber, Chris Cash.
Vegas Life Radio.
We out of here.